Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video was again inspired by another one of May Made It's video. Again, if I can find it, I will. She's done a few of them where she's taken a 12 by 12 inch paper and one that's a design maybe that you're struggling to use or know what to do, certainly for card making. You might be able to use it as a scrapbook layout maybe because all the kind of hard work is done for you. But yeah, in terms of using it on a card project, it might be a little more difficult. And I had a little look through my papers because I am trying to dwindle them down a little bit, and I found this one here. This was by Paper Mania, Bluebirds and Roses. I think I bought this back at the start of my channel. If you go back, it might be, gosh, maybe like the third or fourth video that I made, and it came as a big kit with all the embellishments and everything, and yeah, I made a bunch of cards using it. But I was sort of having a look through, and ironically all of what I had left, apart from just a bunch of scraps, was all of these big prints. I probably didn't even know what to do with them at the time. You can see I've got some scraps left over here from just the sort of regular sized prints. But yeah, we've got a lot of these bigger prints. We've got a few toppers that we could have used there. That one's okay, obviously, just a very generic print, but ones like this, you know, thinking, oh gosh, what am I actually going to do with that? Again, that one's okay, slightly bigger again, and that's actually all we've got left in this pad. So the one that I've pulled out is this one here that we're going to be using in today's video. And essentially what she did was, it was kind of a surprise cut up. So essentially she just turned it over, did all of her cutting, and it was basically, it was a you get what you get kind of situation, which I really loved actually. I thought that was a great way to use up the paper, and you know, you're cutting it up in ways that maybe you wouldn't necessarily think of doing any other time. So again, it's not 100% exact to kind of papers that she had, because I couldn't really find much in the way of yeah, the kind of papers that she was using, but this was kind of the closest I came, and I thought, well, I want to use this up. We're going to create a little set of like little note cards here, but yeah, the first thing to do is to get this cut up. So the biggest thing with this was, again, is not being able to see what you are doing. So I'm gonna pull out my trimmer here. And with this, it really doesn't matter with the orientation for this either. Obviously, if you've got something that is sort of directional, you want to think about that. But yeah, I'm pretty much just going to go ahead and cut it. What I might just do is just take that little bit off the top, because it had just where it was attached to the pad itself, and then yeah, we're going to turn it over. So I'm going to make some A6 cards here. So what I'm going to do, if I just bring this down, is I'm going to do they're all going to be the card sizes, and then I'm going to trim them down, but just to get our first kind of cuts, so I'm going to do 3 cuts at 4 inches. We're going to leave them face down like so, and then I'm literally just going to trim this to 6 inch. So we're going to cut this in half. So this is, you know, very simple in terms of in comparison to what she did, but you know, again, it just really depends what you've got on hand, and if there's a paper that you don't know how to use, maybe you're struggling a little bit to use it, then I think this is a really great way of going about using them. So I've cut these into 6, so they're not all going to be the same size. Like I said, I'm going to trim these down to actually go onto the A6 card bases, but I just want to show you kind of what we've got. So for example, you know, we've got this, you've got just that little bit of detail in there, a nice with a patterned background, but maybe you wouldn't necessarily have kind of framed it like that initially. And then we have our centerpiece. So again, that makes a really, really lovely topper just on its own. And essentially all we're going to do here is just add a sentiment onto these. Maybe some Nuvo drops possibly, but you know, I'm really letting just all of the cardstock do the work. this one again, so you don't have any of those full flowers, but you know, you might not need to. We could also go in a landscape orientation with these as well if you wanted to. You know, you can make that choice. Again, these ones, so this is in the top corner, we could leave that in the top corner, or we could then have this in this orientation here. We've got that lovely centre there as well with that big flower, so some of them might come out, you might like them a little better than others, but it's really just about cutting up that sheet of paper and just absolutely using it all together. And then again, so I do like these as a landscape, so I'm wondering whether to add even just maybe 2 into the mix as a landscape in there possibly. But what I am going to do first of all is just go back through these, and we're going to cut them down to the size that I want them to be, and I'm going to trim it off the plainer side here. So this was obviously cut to, this is slightly under 6 inch because we took that little sliver off the top, but my card base for A6 is 4 inches by 5 3/4, so I'm going to make this 5.5 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to do that for all of our cards. But again, I'm just going to take it off this plainer side so we don't lose any of that detail there. So again, then just trimmed those down. So again, just this is where then I was able to make a little bit more of a selective edit. You know, so for this one, for example, I did take some off of the top opposed to just having it off the bottom as well. So I sort of took it off all of the sides there for that one. But again, just a little creative editing with those. Isn't gonna hurt. It's just about that initial cut up. So if you have a piece you really don't know what to do with it, just turn it over, cut it, and really just see where you can go with it. At the end of the day, it is just a piece of paper. If you really don't like what you get, then that's totally fine. So now I've got everything sorted. I've got all my card bases, my card fronts, I've got my sentiments here. So it came from this set, which I'll link down below, and this, just a note, I really love the size of it, especially on an A2 card. I think on an A6 card, sorry. I think, yeah, it's really lovely. And it comes with this shadow die. So all I did was do the shadow die from Vellum because I thought that would stand out nicely on the piece of patterned paper, and then I picked out, it's obviously a slightly different shade to this colour, but I picked that out, and all I did then was just basically swiped the Salvaged Patina Distress ink on some white cardstock and then simply just die cut it. So I'm going to do everything in a little bit of an assembly line. So what we'll do to get started, let's just grab some glue here. We're going to grab our patterned paper, add some glue, and then we've got just that really simple, again, that simple little note card created in, you know, virtually no time at all. So these last two here, I was thinking about doing them landscape, but actually, do you know what? I think I'm just going to keep them all in that portrait orientation. Yeah, I'm going to keep them all together like that. So I'm just going to pull out my finer glue here. So this is going to be a really quick video, just again creating some really nice, quick and simple cards, but also then, like I said, just using up a little bit of that patterned paper, especially if it's one that you're just not sure how you want to use it. Okay, so we've got all of those down, and now just to add a little bit, because obviously our cards are quite simple, so to add just a little bit more interest, we're going to add just a couple of foam pieces just behind a few of our letters, because we really don't, as much as possible, want them to be seen. Okay, so now again I'm just doing this all as a neat little production line as much as possible, because I do think, and I've said that before, that it does help to just make things go a little quicker. So now I need to decide where I want to pop my sentiment. So I'm actually, so I could put it down here and kind of cover a lot of that patterned paper, but I actually do quite like it just up there in the corner, because the patterned paper is really the main focal point of our card. I think just not necessarily having it covered is a nicer finish, and again then just adding that dimension, that foam behind the sentiment, just kind of gives it a little boost where it is quite a sort of simple card. So all of these will be sort of slightly different placements in that, but that's nice if you're having like a set of note cards. So again, these are just a set. You know, not everyone is exactly the same, and I think that's what's nice. You don't necessarily want every single card to be the same. So that one there, we're just adding to the centre rather than at the top. I didn't really want to hide this colour flower down here, whereas like this, because it's such a larger flower, I think it blends in a lot more, but I wanted to kind of keep that just for that little pop of colour there. So we've gone with that one just in the centre. And the same with that one, I've done that just slightly lower again, because obviously I don't want to cover this orange flower here. We've got this orange one here, and then that sort of a teal one there as well. I didn't really want to have those ones be the ones that I covered up. Let's take a look at our finished card. So obviously these ones here, where we've got that centre sort of cluster of flowers there in the middle, obviously that is got a lot more going on, so they probably are more the favourites. But then certainly even just these ones where we have the notes, just a note at the top, and just that little bit of decorative pattern, they're sort of coming in. Obviously some coming in more than others on certain cards, but I think just what a really great set of note cards, really quick and easy, not a lot to it. You could add a lot more to it if you wanted to. Really this is just about that base and using up that piece of cardstock. So what I could have done really, if I wanted to make this video any longer, is I could actually go back through that same paper pad and use up those other sort of bigger sheets. Just grabbing the pad. Obviously I had this one obviously in this one here, where we've got it all just around the outside, but also then we had this one in a slightly different colour, so we could just do a different colour variation. So if I do end up making any more of these using this pad, I'll add the footage onto the end of this video just so you can see exactly how we've created them. But I've got 2 sheets of those. You know, the big butterflies. Literally I could use all of these in the exact same way. It wouldn't be the same concept as what this is in terms of using papers that are slightly harder to use, but certainly you know, those 2 sheets there and and certainly these two sheets on this page here as well. But I really love, yeah, how all of these have turned out. And again, it's just using up a pad that I've had in my stash, for probably 2 or 3 years now. So definitely give it a go. If you've got some papers you're just not sure what to do with, have a go at just doing a blind cut. So turn it over, work out the sizes that you need, and yeah, just see what it is that you can create. So I decided just to use one of the other papers from the pack. I still have another one of these, so I could literally make another 9 cards. But yeah, in the exact same way with these, I just wanted to have a go and then show you doing it in a different size. So with this, these are 4x4 inch cards, so I got 9 of these out of that 12x12 sheet of paper. And with these ones, so these seem a little more simple. With these, I think it makes a big difference with the sentiment, you know, having that bright colour on there, and having then it stand out a little bit more, whereas these are going to be a little bit more kind of simple. So hopefully you can see my sentiment on there. This has come from the Creative Craft Products A2 Essentials Everyday Sentiments. And yeah, I just wanted like a simple thanks on here. But if we just sort of focus more on the actual patterned paper itself, so again, creating this size kind of card, and yeah, I think it's just worked really nicely. You've got a lot of the design on each of these, but these ones are then, well, you're getting a little bit more what's the word I want to use, you're getting sort of less on the card, obviously, because you're creating more cards and they're smaller, but I actually think they came out really great as well, especially where you have all of these leaves and flourishes and things on there. So obviously the designs are slightly different, but they were the same in the sense that it had that big floral cluster right in the middle of that page. So a couple of flowers on here. I did a brown sentiment. I'm going to add some Nuvo drops and things to this just to help kind of boost it up a little bit, because again, where I've just got the sentiment on there, it's a little, it definitely is sort of lacking something, but again, great for a pack of cards if that's what you want them for. But let's just move these ones out the way. So again, you know, being cutting it in the way, you know, where maybe not everyone is going to be super excited and it's not going to super thrill you. But again, even like this one, so you've got the edge of the 2 flowers, but you've got these lovely little floral pieces in there, which have worked really nicely. And again, I've just popped that sentiment on there as well. So even though you're not getting tons kind of on some of these, again, it's all about using that paper and just cutting it creatively where you don't know what you're cutting to begin with, and then you can sort of just go ahead and use them. These cards literally took me, including the die cutting, I'm pretty sure it was about 20 minutes, and that was literally it to create all 9 of these cards. Again, not a lot going on that one, but you've still got a little bit of that flower, you've still got that colour in there from the green and those flowers, but you've got those big leaves and things. Not everyone, you know, is going to be super duper exciting, but I still think they all came out lovely. So obviously this was the centre one, where you had all those lovely flowers in there, and I just put the thanks in the centre of that one. Again, lots going on this one. You've got quite a few flowers in here, the different colours and all of the leaves for that one. Again, slightly more simple, but we've still got that foliage really coming into, and again, letting that pattern paper kind of do the work for you. Again, and you can see that I've put the sentiments all in the different places just based on what kind of design the patterned paper ended up sort of being. You've got that lovely big flower there. And again, the same way you've got that red. So like I said, I'm going to add some Nuvo drops to these, and hopefully that will be enough just to kind of elevate it up a little bit. Yeah, definitely encourage you to have a go, and don't think that this is exclusive for 12 by 12. You know, have a look at some other size, maybe like a 6 by 6 would be harder to use, but possibly, depends on what card size that you create, maybe doing a 8 by 8 might possibly work. You could just look at just trimming it down, but trim it from the back again, so you don't know how you're cutting it, and just let it be kind of what it is. So I've really enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys do as well. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So thanks very much for watching, and happy crafting.